All right, good morning, everyone. Before I take a few questions, I want to first give you an update on our increased efforts to combat the effects of this, what seems like never-ending winter and its brutal effects. Over the past few weeks, city employees have worked around the clock to not only keep our residents safe, but to also clear our city streets and to work through thousands of calls from residents struggling with the after effects of water main breaks. Many residents have experienced frozen pipes and flooded basements. We are implementing an administration-wide effort to serve our residents. The Department of Public Works has been operating a 24-hour command center focused on water outages, and our fire department and emergency management and the Department of Emergency Management have been reaching out to those who have been without water to see what they can do to help as we work to restore service. Again, this is an all hands on deck approach. The Department of Transportation has been aggressively pre-treating city streets and clearing primary and secondary roadways. As a result of our aggressive efforts to date, the backlog in calls for service that once stood at thousands has been cut down to less than 50 in a matter of days. This tremendous progress, I think, is noteworthy, and the people who stand behind those numbers are, I think, worthy to be noted. And I want to thank some of the workers who are here with us today: Mr. Jamie Booker, Mr. Mendez King, Charles Lee, Robert Coakley, Al Green, George Sherrod, Jerry Hall, and the chief of our utility maintenance division, Mr. Anthony Galloway. Did I miss anybody? Anybody? I got everybody? Wonderful.
Wayne Giles.
Mr. Wayne Giles. You know I don't want to forget you, Mr. Wayne Giles. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. I want to thank you for your tireless work on behalf of the citizens of Baltimore. I know that you are our unsung heroes. You do the work that everybody wants done, and not a lot of people are up to the challenge of getting it done, and certainly not at the hours that you put in. So I'm very grateful for all of your hard work. And while we are very proud of the progress that we've made, we all know that there is much more work to be done. As the weather warms up, residents can expect more water main breaks as the pipes expand, as well as potholes that will be popping up as a result of the salt treatment, and the change in the weather, and the fact that when that happens and the cars hit them, and I'm sure Mr. Johnson is going to talk about this as well, it weakens the street. Coupled by the fact that with the cold weather, we cannot do permanent patches, so every repair that we do, we know that it's only going to last for a few weeks until spring breaks. So my administration will continue to monitor both of the situations, the pipes and the potholes, very closely as we strive to provide the most efficient and effective service as possible for our residents. I want to thank again all of the employees, the ones who are here, and those who you represent for all of your hard work. And I want to thank the residents for your patience during this very unkind winter. To those families out there who are frustrated with the impact of the frozen pipes and the water mains, I hope our focus and the effectiveness of this effort shows that, or demonstrates very clearly that I hear you, and I'm very focused on resolving the issues that you face. We will continue to work around the clock to make sure through this challenging time that you get the relief that you deserve. Now I'd like to turn things over to Director Chow, who's going to provide an update on where we are regarding the water outages, and then I'll turn it over to Director Johnson. Director Chow.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm happy to report that we have made significant advancement in resolving more than 6,000 calls since February 14th to restore water services due to frozen, broken services line, or meters. Today, fewer than 50 of our customers remained out of water as a result of the recent record cold temperatures. However, majority of them, if not all of them, are already underway for repairs or will be shortly. Some customers are scheduling to have water service turned back on because they weren't home when we visited the location. As a precautionary measure, we left their water service off. This means more than 99% of the cold weather-related jobs are complete. This volume of the volume of calls was staggering. In the weeks before this extended stretch of frigid temperature, on average, we saw between 50 and 100 calls on a daily basis. But since February 15th, we received more than 400 on average on a daily basis, and that remained at that level more than 10 days thereafter. Twice, on Monday, February 16th, and Friday, February 20th, we received in excess of more than 1,200 calls. To help coordinate our response, under the direction of our Mayor, Rawlings-Blake, we opened our Emergency Operations Center. This week, we will begin to deactivate that center. At the height of our response, the center allowed us to coordinate our emergency schedules, repair schedules, to establish call center, to reach out directly to our citizens who were on our list of service requests, and to communicate with the crews in the field. We'll work with our partners in Baltimore County to investigate water service calls from our customers in the county, and I want to express our appreciation for their assistance and partnership. We also welcome the assistance of the Mayor's Office of Emergency Management, Baltimore Fire Department, Housing, and Health Departments, who helped us reaching out to our customers with water and wellness checks. This does not mean our work is done. In fact, many of the remaining work, ongoing repairs, are among the most difficult ones. DPW crews are still working extended shifts. However, we are stepping back to 12-hour shifts from 16 hours starting today. Contractors continue to assist DPW maintenance crews with service requests. We are also working with our customers who still need help with the water in basement or exterior water leaks. We are watching the trend of water main breaks as the weather warms up. So far, the gradual warming has not caused a spike in breaks, but if they do, we are ready. Any customers experiencing issues with their water services should continue to call 311 to submit a service request. I want to thank our Mayor Rawlings-Blake for her leadership during these last few weeks. I also want to thank my fellow agency heads for working with us. It took a great teamwork to bring this situation under control. Of course, I want to thank the men and women of the Department of Public Works. Some of them are standing next to me, and who are out, and our contractor who are out making repairs in frigid conditions. Mostly, I want to thank the customers in the city and in Baltimore County. Many of them endured genuine hardship as we worked to get water service restored to everyone in the last few weeks. As the mayor has said, we understand your frustration. We have already begun discussing lessons learned and what we need to do to prepare for a better response next time. I'm committed to provide excellent customer service, and that includes responding to extraordinary situations like this one. Thank you.
Good morning. As you are well aware, the city has battled through another long, hard winter season. As Director Chow just mentioned, we had an extensive period of freezing and thawing that has been taking place since January of this year. We actually had 14 occurrences where we fully activated the snow center, and I want to take an opportunity to thank all of the coordinated agencies of the city and the men and women of the Department of Transportation for the long nights and long hours and hard work that they did in trying to help clear our streets and keep us all safe on our roadways. With the end of the snow season, as occurs every year, we're entering phase 2 of winter recovery, which is the pothole season. Due to the repeated occurrences of freezing and thawing, the precipitation that gets into cracks in the roadway and expands, once it thaws out, as traffic begins to roll over our streets, it creates potholes throughout our community. We're starting to see an increase in customer complaints regarding potholes. In fact, yesterday, on one street alone, our crews closed 78 potholes on one street. This is indicative of the type of damage that all of the salt, freezing, thawing, plowing, and other activities create in our infrastructure during the winter months. The Department of Transportation, as of this date, has completed about 25,000 potholes. But because of the extent of the winter season, we know that we're getting a later thaw than normal, and we're going to see those numbers go up tremendously. We have 14 crews that are working 6 days a week to try to keep up with the demand. And as our mayor pointed out, right now we can only do temporary patches. Within the next couple of weeks, we expect the asphalt plants to open up, and we'll be able to go back and revisit all of the temporary pothole repairs that were done and do permanent repairs, as well as kick into full gear with our milling and paving resurfacing program to help improve the quality of our streets throughout the city. We encourage residents to contact us. You call 311. 311 calls, our goal is to respond to everyone within 48 hours for pothole repairs. Because of the volume of potholes, we may fall, half a day behind here or there, but rest assured we're coming. We hear you, we recognize you, we recognize the impact that it has on your neighborhoods. We have inspectors on the streets who are out looking for damaged areas, recording them, and assigning our crews. The crews are divided into 4 sectors and assign those sectors to maintain a good state of repair. DOT also has reinstituted its pothole meter. If you go to the DOT City of Baltimore website, we update it throughout the week in terms of how many potholes have been addressed and repaired during this season since January. With that, I'll turn it back over to our mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I will open it up for questions.
In terms of historic winters, does this rank at all with water main breakages or potholes?
Potholes, I'll say that it's too early to, I would say it's too early to tell because as we start to thaw, that's when you get the contraction and the impact of the cars. So we're just gearing up for pothole season, but with water main breaks, Director Child can address that.
Yeah, generally, a typical winter, the cold temperature and the warming trend, sort of cycle it on a weekly basis. So in traditionally, we see more of a water main breaks because the ups and downs in terms of temperature. But this year, we saw a lot greater number in terms of frozen services because the extended long period of sub-zero temperature, and that resulted in that. And so right now, we're anticipating as the weather warms up, if it has a downward trend again, we're going to see breaks and so on and all that. But yeah, it's very somewhat untypical.
Any other questions?
Do you all have an estimate on how much it costs with overtime and contractors to fix the pipes?
I don't know if we have any ongoing. This is an ongoing process, so we don't have an estimate so far. But once this is over and we go back to a more normal schedule, we'll have some assessments of overtime costs. I know that there's also been some questions about the expense for salt and the drivers for all the trucks and contractors. So we'll be getting those numbers out. Any other questions for me? Again, I want to thank all of our teammates for being here, and thank you for literally working around the clock. I can't thank you enough, and thank you all for being here as well.